ज्ञानमयी ज्योतिर्मयी मरियं तु दयामयी मरियं तु दयामयी मरियं तु दयामयी.
Hi, I am Mrs. Hiral Trivedi. Hello children, how are you all? Today we continue our other topics in food and nutrition. So we said about few non-communicable diseases. In that we continue further that if we have junk food and we are not taking care of our health, yes, and we are going to have more of fatty foods, then we have few diseases which are non-communicable. So we had talked about the obesity, last topic, you remember? Yes. So here if we are going to have fatty foods and the junk food, you can see here the fried things, yes. So we have heart diseases. Now if we talk about the heart disease, then why we had seen in the last slide, because of the flow of the blood, how it contracts. Yes, and we have all the heart problems. And the next we see that non-communicable disease, few of the disease are always when we are born. Yes, that time also we have few disease at the birth time also. So this all are non-communicable disease. Now the next we see here is the cancer. How it is going to occur? Yes, it's because of our habits of intake of alcohol, or we have the cigarettes, yes, all the habits which are not proper in our lifestyle. So we can have, if we have the excess of smoking, then it is cancer. It is also a non-communicable disease. Now, the next topic is the epidemics and the pandemic. Now if we are going to talk about this, then we talk about now communicable disease that we saw in the virus. Yes, you remember? Yes. Now if we talk about epidemics, then it is the virus which is going to be in few of the country or few of the states, which we had suffered in 1994 in Surat in Gujarat, that was of the plague disease. But right now you have in your course pandemic, but now you are so lucky that you know also what is pandemic. It is the virus disease which is there in many of the countries, in the worldwide geographical areas, and lot of population is being there with the pandemic. And we can have the best example which is not in our textbook also, yes or not? You all know it. It is the coronavirus, which is not in the textbook. In future, it's going to be there in the textbook, which you are having this very nice live experience. Yes, children? So it's the epidemic and the pandemic. Now, if we are talking about these diseases, that was the virus. It is because of communicable disease. Last time we had seen non-communicable and no communicable disease. Now we go in the detail. Why does it occur in our body? Yeah. So you see here the children are coughing and sneezing. In school also we teach you, at home also we teach you that you have to use your handkerchief. So if you are not going to use it, then you can see here an infected person, yes, can pass the disease to the healthy person. And that person also will have the disease. So the name is communicable disease or non-communicable. Come on, can you identify? We did two types last time. So this is, yes, Krish, tell me. This type of disease will be which one? Communicable disease. Yes, you can see it can pass from one person to another. Now if we see further, if we want to prevent this disease, then we have not to have this kind of habits. Yes. So here, see a person is coughing. is not having handkerchief, is not having a tissue paper. See here, both are coughing and sneezing. Here, the lady is in the gym and she's coughing. And see the infection which we cannot see, they all are microbes. Last topic we saw, what are microbes, children? Yes. So here a person is coughing and he is very nicely standing very close, hand in hand with his friend. So right now we have the disease of coronavirus, which is communicable. So you see in the TV and the news, your parents, yes, and we are having the live videos and we are showing you, we are not in the school also. Why? So that if you are going to avoid all these things, then you will be safe at home. Yes, because it is a dangerous communicable disease. Now, if you want to avoid, the another thing is if you sneeze, achoo, and you must have the handkerchief. It's very necessary now. You cannot have any of misguidance. Yes, so you are at home safe right now because it spreads a lot in the air, which we cannot see, but all the moisture, water droplets are always going in the atmosphere if we don't use a tissue paper or a handkerchief. Now we see that this communicable disease by virus, it can go from one healthy person to the other. Now we can see the spreading germs through dirt and water. If there is a contaminated food or water, how it becomes contaminated? So if you are talking about that, we can see here flies on top of the uncovered food. So you are watching the TV, your parents are guiding you, we must never have a food which is not covered. Yes, and you can see the flies will come and sit on us. So all the microbes will be coming in our body. Yes. So if our few hygienic habits are good, then we'll be away from this kind of communicable disease. See here, in the food items, the flies are sitting. It might be sitting on the garbage also outside. Yes or not, children? So see here, we can see microbes will be sitting on the legs and on the wings of the flies. Now, see here, this is the water. If the water is open, our plate is not covered, then we can have this kind of diseases which is communicable. Now, it can pass through mosquitoes also. How and in which way? So, mosquitoes are carrying few microbes in them. Yes. And that microbes, with that they sit on our skin. So, it can penetrate deep in our blood and we can become a diseased person. So if we avoid and if we have few habits which are hygienic, then we can avoid this communicable disease through flies and mosquitoes. So this is the mosquito for malaria, that is the female Anopheles, which infects in our body and we can get the malaria also. So if we see the topic of communicable disease, we have common cold. Why do we have, you saw the pictures of it, if we sneeze, if we are going to cough and we don't cover our head, then we get common cold. So what we have to prevent? We can prevent it by regular hand washing and keeping away from an infected person. Now we see the next, pneumonia. Now if a person is having cough, fever and a person is shaking with chills, that is he is feeling cold, yes, and breathing problem, then that is which disease? Pneumonia. Yes, and what is the preventive cause? It is treated with the antibiotics which only a doctor can give. We cannot take any antibiotics without consulting a doctor. Next is tuberculosis. Yes, this is also because of the microbes. Yes, in this, which are the symptoms? It is the fever, chills, night sweats, loss of appetite means we don't feel to eat anything. Yes, weight loss, we become very thin. This all weakness, chest pain, cough, this all are the symptoms of tuberculosis. And if this also we want to treat, then the preventive measure is again the antibiotics. So you might be thinking, what is this antibiotics? Yes or no? So antibiotics is what? A substance or medicine which doctor gives, which kills the disease, microbe which have already entered in our body. Is it clear, children? So substances that can kill disease causing organisms are called antibiotics. Now, for prevention measure, there are few things. Yes, few questions are asked, sometimes a short note is asked, but for short note, you are not to get worried. You just remember the pictures. Preventive measures for communicable disease. You have to have your healthy habits, good in hygiene, then you will not have this kind of disease. So you can see in the figure, we have to use tissue paper when we have cough and cold. And if you are talking about tissue papers, it should be a clean tissue. If you are going to use a napkin, it should be clean. The next is, see, you are coughing. So you have to use a tissue. Yes. And these all things right now are coming in the television for the coronavirus. So you all know it. So you can write this short note on your own. Yes or not, children? So to remember a few things. And when we use these tissues, it should be always dumped into a covered dustbin. Dustbin should be covered. So no microbes, mosquitoes or flies can go inside and sit. Yes. And here, see, again a person is sneezing using a tissue paper. And our hands should be washed regularly. Yes. So these are all the preventive measures to avoid the communicable disease. For other measures are, if you don't want to have this kind of diseases, then we must have a healthy food. Yes, not the fried food, the burgers and the French fries every time. You can have it sometimes. And you can have a healthy food. So you can have the prevention for the communicable disease. Now, you can see in this picture, what are the other ways to prevent the disease? You can wash your hands, yes. So the microbes will be washed, yes or not, children? And how much times you have to wash? It should be at least 20 seconds. In this dangerous coronavirus, you are doing it or not? Yes, first you were doing it lazily, but now with active. The next is regular brushing, and the bathing should be done regularly. So all the microbes of the every day gets washed up and we have a healthy body. And we must have very good and clean utensils for our diet. Our table should be clean. Our eating habits should be clean. Yes? That also prevents the communicable disease. So it is in our hand how to prevent few diseases in our life.